Have you ever kicked off your shoes at the end of the day and wondered, why do my feet look so puffy tonight? Maybe you brushed it off, thinking you were just on your feet too long. But what if that nightly swelling isn't just from a busy day? What if it's your body's quiet way of telling you something important? Especially after age 60, even small signs like swelling in your feet can reveal hidden problems with your heart, kidneys, or circulation that you might not feel otherwise. It's easy to overlook because it doesn't usually hurt. It creeps up slowly, a little more each evening, until one day it's not so easy to ignore. The truth is, swollen feet aren't just about getting older or being tired. They could be the very first clue that your heart isn't pumping as strongly as it should, that your kidneys are working harder than they can handle, or that your veins are struggling to move blood efficiently back to your heart. And the longer these issues go unnoticed, the harder they can be to fix later on. But here's the good news. By recognizing the signs early, you can take simple, powerful steps to protect your health and feel better day by day. In today's video, we'll walk you through the most common reasons your feet might swell every evening, including mild heart failure, kidney issues, circulation problems, medication side effects, lifestyle habits, and hidden salt overloads in your diet. We'll not only explain why this happens, but also give you practical tips that are easy to start today. No complicated medical jargon, just clear steps to help you feel stronger and lighter again. Whether you're already experiencing swelling or just want to understand your body better, this is a video you'll want to watch all the way through. Your future self will thank you. I know you are a person who likes to watch videos quietly. If you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, now is a good time to do it because you are a kind person. If the video is helpful, press 1. If the video is not good enough or needs improvement, press 2. Thanks everyone. Now let's get started. Number 1, mild heart failure can cause evening swelling. Take the story of Mr. Robert, a 73-year-old retired mechanic who loves spending his afternoons restoring old bicycles. Lately, he noticed that by evening, his shoes felt tighter and his ankles looked puffier than usual. He blamed it on getting older or being on his feet too much. But when he finally mentioned it to his doctor, they ran a few simple tests and found early signs of mild heart failure. Although the word heart failure sounds frightening, in many cases it starts off very quietly. Mild heart failure means that the heart isn't pumping blood as efficiently as it should. Imagine trying to water a garden with a hose that's partially kinked. The water still flows, but it's slower and weaker. When the heart's pumping power weakens, blood moves less effectively, and fluid can back up in the lower parts of the body, especially the legs and feet. Throughout the day, gravity naturally pulls blood downward, and by nighttime, the buildup can cause noticeable swelling. The tricky part is that mild heart failure often doesn't cause dramatic symptoms at first. There's no sudden chest pain or collapse. Instead, the body sends quieter signals: mild swelling in the ankles, feeling a little breathless when lying flat, getting more tired during regular activities. These subtle changes are easy to ignore or brush off, but they are important messages from the body asking for attention. When swelling becomes a regular pattern each evening, it's a good idea to check in with a doctor, even if you feel mostly fine otherwise. The positive news is that mild heart failure, when caught early, can often be managed very well. Many people live active, fulfilling lives for years by making a few key changes. Elevating your legs for 20 minutes in the late afternoon or evening can help move trapped fluid back toward the upper body. Cutting down on salty foods helps reduce fluid retention, easing the workload on the heart. Gentle daily movement, like walking or stretching, keeps the blood circulating better. Medications, if needed, can also strengthen the heart's ability to pump effectively. Mr. Robert started with small steps: a little less salt in his meals, a short walk each morning, and taking time to prop his legs up while reading in the evening. Within a few months, he noticed a big improvement, not just in the swelling, but in his energy and confidence too. If you've seen the same pattern in your own feet or ankles by the end of the day, could your heart be quietly asking for some help? What small action could you take today to give your heart an easier job? Now that we've seen how heart health can quietly influence swelling, let's move on to another key player that often hides in plain sight: your kidneys. Number 2, your kidneys might be struggling. Let's talk about Mrs. Elaine, a 76-year-old who loved hosting weekend lunches for her grandchildren. Over time, she noticed that every evening, after a busy day, her ankles seemed puffier, and her shoes felt tighter. She assumed it was just part of aging or being on her feet more often. But when her doctor checked her kidney function during a routine exam, they found early signs of trouble. Elaine's swelling wasn't just because she was tired. It was her kidneys struggling quietly in the background. Your kidneys play a vital role in maintaining your body's delicate balance. They act like natural filters, removing excess fluid, waste, and salt from the blood. When kidneys start to lose efficiency, which often happens silently as we age, they don't eliminate fluid as effectively. This extra fluid begins to accumulate, and gravity naturally pulls it downward to the feet and ankles throughout the day. By evening, the swelling becomes especially noticeable. Unlike some illnesses that come with sharp pains or obvious symptoms, kidney issues usually develop slowly and quietly. You might feel a little more bloated, a bit more tired, or just notice those socks leaving deeper marks than before. The good news is that supporting your kidney health doesn't have to be complicated. Staying well hydrated with water, not sugary drinks, is a key first step. Proper hydration helps the kidneys flush out waste and manage fluid balance better. Watching your salt intake is just as important. Too much salt forces the body to retain water, putting more strain on kidneys that may already be working overtime. Managing blood pressure and blood sugar levels is crucial too, since high blood pressure and diabetes are the leading causes of kidney damage in seniors. Regular gentle movement, like walking or stretching, also helps circulation and reduces fluid buildup. Mrs. Elaine made some simple but powerful changes. She started choosing fresh foods over processed ones, adding more fruits and vegetables to her meals, and making sure to drink water throughout the day instead of waiting until evening. Her doctor also helped her fine-tune her blood pressure medication. Within a few months, Elaine noticed less swelling, more energy, and an easier time fitting into her favorite shoes again. If you're seeing swelling around your feet and ankles in the evening, could your kidneys be quietly asking for a little more care? What simple step could you take today to support these hardworking organs? Now that we've explored the vital role your kidneys play in managing fluid, let's move on to another important factor that could be contributing to evening swelling: the hidden impact of poor blood circulation. Number 3, poor blood circulation is a hidden culprit. Let's meet Mr. Thomas, a 70-year-old retired accountant who enjoyed spending his afternoons reading at the local library. Over the past few months, he noticed that after sitting for hours, his feet would feel heavy and swollen by evening. At first, he thought it was just part of sitting too long, but after speaking with his doctor, he discovered the real issue was poor blood circulation. As we age, our blood vessels naturally lose some of their elasticity, making it harder for blood to flow smoothly, especially against gravity from the legs back up to the heart. When circulation slows down, blood and fluid can start pooling in the lower extremities. This pooling doesn't cause immediate pain, which is why so many people miss the early signs. Instead, it quietly leads to swelling, a feeling of heaviness, and sometimes even a slight discoloration of the skin by the end of the day. Normally, our muscles act as little pumps to help push blood upward. Every time you flex your calves or move your legs, you're helping circulation. But if you sit or stand still for long periods, those pumps don't get activated and blood starts to stagnate. This is why people who sit for hours watching TV, playing cards, or even working on hobbies can experience significant swelling without realizing why. Poor circulation not only causes discomfort, but over time can also increase the risk of varicose veins, blood clots, and more serious vascular problems. The encouraging news is that even simple, daily habits can greatly improve blood flow. Standing up and moving around for just a few minutes every hour can stimulate circulation and prevent blood from pooling. Gentle calf stretches, ankle rolls, and short walks around the house are all effective ways to keep blood moving. Elevating your legs above heart level for 20 minutes each evening can also help drain excess fluid back toward the chest. Compression socks are another excellent tool, providing gentle pressure that supports your veins and helps blood return to the heart more efficiently. Mr. Thomas made small but steady changes to his routine. He set a timer to remind himself to stand and stretch every hour during his reading sessions. He added a simple stretching routine before bedtime and invested in a comfortable pair of compression socks. Within weeks, he noticed a big difference. Less swelling, lighter legs, and a greater sense of vitality throughout the day. Have you ever thought about how much time you spend sitting or standing still each day? What simple movement could you add to your daily routine to give your circulation a healthy boost? Now that we've uncovered how circulation plays a major role in evening swelling, let's explore another often overlooked cause: how long periods of sitting or standing by themselves can quietly make the problem worse. Number 4. Sitting or standing too long worsens the problem. Let's meet Mrs. Karen, a 71-year-old who loves spending her mornings tending to her beautiful backyard garden. She could stand for hours planting, pruning, and watering without even realizing how much time had passed. Yet by evening, she would often find her ankles swollen and aching. She assumed it was just because she was active, but her doctor explained something surprising. It wasn't the activity itself causing the swelling. It was staying in one position for too long without moving enough. Whether you are standing in the garden, sitting in a chair reading, or even standing at a kitchen counter preparing meals, staying still for extended periods can cause blood and fluid to pool in your lower legs. Movement is what helps our muscles pump blood back up toward the heart. When we're inactive, even if we're upright, gravity pulls fluids downward, and the lack of muscle action makes it harder for the body to keep circulation flowing. Over time, this pooling of blood and fluid stretches the veins, causes pressure to build, and leads to the uncomfortable swelling so many older adults experience, especially by the end of the day. It's easy to think of sitting as resting, but sitting still too long without moving is one of the sneakiest contributors to poor leg circulation. Similarly, standing for long periods without shifting your weight or moving your legs can be just as problematic. The good news is that simple, intentional movement throughout the day can prevent this from happening. For those who spend long hours sitting, setting a timer to stand up and walk around every 30 to 60 minutes can work wonders. Even light activities like marching in place, stretching your calves, or rotating your ankles can reactivate circulation. For activities that require standing, like gardening or cooking, it helps to shift your weight frequently, take small walking breaks, or sit down briefly to give your legs a rest. Elevating your legs during breaks can also reduce the pressure buildup and minimize evening swelling. Mrs. Karen adjusted her gardening routine by taking short seated breaks every half hour, gently stretching her legs before going back to work, and propping her feet up after finishing. These tiny changes made a huge difference. Within a few weeks, she noticed that her ankles stayed slimmer, her legs felt less heavy, and she had more energy left over at the end of the day. Have you considered how often you stay in one position without moving? What easy reminder or habit could you set up to give your legs the break and the boost they need? Now that we understand how being still too long can worsen swelling, let's uncover another hidden factor that might be quietly working against your body: the side effects of certain medications. Number 5. Certain medications could be the reason. Let's talk about Mr. Frank, a 75-year-old who had recently started a new blood pressure medication after his doctor noticed a slight rise during his last checkup. A few weeks into his new prescription, Frank noticed that by the end of each day, his feet and ankles looked puffier than usual. He hadn't changed his diet, his routine was the same, and yet the swelling was clearly getting worse. When he brought it up at his next doctor's visit, they quickly connected the dots. Frank's medication was causing his body to retain extra fluid, leading to evening swelling. Many seniors are surprised to learn that some of the most common medications prescribed for blood pressure, diabetes, pain, or even depression can quietly cause the body to hold on to more fluid. This side effect, called peripheral edema, often shows up first in the lower legs and feet. Certain medications, like calcium channel blockers used for high blood pressure, work by relaxing blood vessels to improve circulation. But in doing so, they can also make it easier for fluid to leak into surrounding tissues. Other drugs, including some diabetes medications and anti-inflammatory pain relievers, can alter how your kidneys manage salt and water, causing even more fluid retention. The swelling isn't usually dangerous in itself, but it can be uncomfortable, alarming, and a sign that the body is having to work harder than it should. The good news is that you don't have to live with uncomfortable swelling if it's caused by medication. Never stop taking a prescribed drug without speaking to your doctor first. But absolutely bring it up at your next visit. Your doctor might adjust your dose, switch you to a different medication, or recommend supportive strategies like compression socks, elevating your legs, or using mild diuretics if appropriate. Keeping a daily journal of your swelling symptoms, noting when they appear, how bad they are, and whether they're getting better or worse, can be incredibly helpful when discussing the issue with your healthcare provider. Mr. Frank's doctor switched him to a different blood pressure medication that didn't cause swelling, and within weeks he noticed a major improvement. He also added a simple routine of elevating his legs for 20 minutes each evening and paying a little more attention to his salt intake, further reducing fluid buildup. His energy returned and he no longer felt uncomfortable by dinner time. Have you recently started or changed any medications and noticed your feet or ankles swelling more than before? Could a simple conversation with your doctor lead to an adjustment that makes you feel better every day? Now that we've seen how medications can quietly contribute to evening swelling, let's dive into another major factor that you can control starting today: the powerful role of your diet and salt intake. Number 6. Diet and salt intake play a bigger role than you think. Let's talk about Mrs. Betty, a cheerful 78-year-old who enjoyed simple dinners at home, often choosing canned soups, deli meats, and salty crackers because they were easy and familiar. Over time, though, she began to notice her feet swelling almost every evening. She thought it was just a normal part of getting older, but a conversation with her doctor revealed something surprising. It was her daily diet, specifically her high salt intake, quietly causing the problem. Salt plays a crucial role in controlling fluid balance in the body. When you consume too much sodium, your body holds on to extra water to try to maintain the right concentration in your bloodstream. This additional fluid increases the volume of blood flowing through your veins, putting extra pressure on vessel walls and making it easier for fluid to leak into nearby tissues. The result? Swollen feet, ankles, and sometimes even hands, especially by evening, after gravity has pulled that extra fluid downward all day. Many seniors don't realize how much salt they're consuming because it hides in everyday foods like canned soups, frozen meals, bread, and even seemingly healthy snacks. Even if you don't reach for the salt shaker, processed foods often sneak in more sodium than you would ever guess. For people whose heart, kidneys, or circulation are already working a little harder with age, the effects of excess salt show up quickly in the form of swelling, high blood pressure, and increased fatigue. The good news is that reducing salt intake doesn't have to mean giving up flavor or feeling deprived. Simple steps like choosing fresh foods over processed ones, reading nutrition labels carefully, and cooking more at home with herbs, lemon, and spices instead of salt can make a powerful difference. Look for low sodium or no salt added versions of canned goods and opt for fresh meats rather than processed deli slices whenever possible. Staying hydrated with water also helps flush excess sodium from your system naturally, easing the burden on your heart and kidneys. Mrs. Betty started by swapping her usual canned soups for homemade vegetable broth and switching to unsalted nuts for snacks. She also made it a habit to taste her food first before automatically reaching for the salt shaker. Within a few months, she noticed her evening swelling significantly improved, her energy levels rose, and even her blood pressure readings at the doctor's office were better than they had been in years. Have you thought about how much hidden salt might be sneaking into your daily meals? What small, easy swap could you make today to protect your heart, kidneys, and legs? Now that we've explored how your diet and salt habits play a bigger role than you might think, let's bring all of this important information together in the final conclusion and see how small changes today can lead to a healthier, stronger tomorrow. As we've explored today, evening foot swelling is more than just a minor annoyance. It's your body's way of signaling that something deeper might be happening. Whether it's mild heart failure, early kidney strain, poor circulation, long periods of sitting or standing, medication side effects, or simply too much salt in your diet. Every cause tells a story about how your body is coping with the challenges of aging. These signs are not meant to scare you, but to guide you toward paying closer attention and taking action while it's still early. The encouraging truth is that so many of these causes can be managed, improved, and even reversed with small, steady changes. Listening to your body's quiet messages is one of the smartest, strongest things you can do. Supporting your heart by staying active, caring for your kidneys with healthy hydration and a balanced diet. Encouraging better circulation through simple daily movements and being mindful about medications and salt intake. All these steps are within your reach. You don't need a complete life overhaul overnight. Even one small change, like standing up every hour, choosing fresh foods more often, or elevating your legs for a few minutes each evening, can start shifting your health in a better direction. The key is consistency and awareness. Your body is wonderfully resilient, even in your later years. It's constantly working to protect you, heal you, and keep you moving forward. By honoring the small signs like evening swelling, you honor that amazing ability, and you give yourself the best chance at staying independent, strong, and vibrant for many years to come. So the next time you notice your feet swelling by evening, don't simply accept it as a normal part of aging. Take a moment, reflect. Ask yourself what small shift you can make today to support your body's natural balance. With steady attention and care, you have the power to feel lighter, stronger, and more in control of your health, one thoughtful step at a time.